What's up, people? Hope you had a happy holiday yesterday. We had fun. I was hanging out with my wild cousins. Oof, I swear I need a recovery day after being with them. Because first they had to cook, okay? Then they had like a block party. So it was like everybody in the world. They had jumpy houses and slide wet pool thing for the kids and all stuff. And then music blasting at every different house, different kind of music. Food galore. I mean, just ridiculous amounts of food, insane amounts of booze. Then when it got cold outside, we went inside and they had karaoke and they was dancing. It went on for hours. I'm so tired right now, I could just die. But another time, we're going to talk about the ratchetness, because they had me watching like some of the modern female hip hop artists and the songs, and looking at the way the girls dress in like the BET Awards and all the stuff. And I was just shocked. I was shocked. I was appalled. I was disgusted and deeply, deeply disturbed that this is the route that young Black women have decided to take with their lives and their way of presenting themselves in society. It was just, I just sit there with my mouth hanging open because, I don't have TV. If it's not streaming, I stream Netflix and some Korean channel with Vicky or something, and something, a couple of the little things. I just stream these things. I don't watch mainstream television unless I'm at my cousin's house. And since I've been so busy with this website stuff, and trying to get that ready, I haven't really been up there that much. But I tell you, so what we're gonna have to talk about that as soon as I have time. I'm sure y'all have a lot to tell me about it and a lot to say, because I just what, But anyway, let's talk about what's going on tonight, which is What the Fuck Wednesday Relationship Advice Show. We have 25 questions again, which is our usual number. Sometimes I'm lucky and it's less. Occasionally I'm sad and it's more. But she's pretty consistent about 25 questions. So up on the top of the chat, you'll notice there's a post and it tells you how to submit your question. Shay will also be providing instructions throughout the chat on where you can find merchandise for the Debsterism channel, as well as submit your question. So let's go. Question number 1. This is a young woman in the 18 to 21 age group. She is Caucasian from Indiana. Summary of issue. My boyfriend smashed my makeup to prove that I am beautiful without it. What should I do? My boyfriend's 27. I'm 20. He's a little old for you anyway. He has always made comments about how I didn't need makeup and how I don't need to cover up my face or my freckles. I've always taken it as a compliment, but I still wear makeup every day. Yesterday, while I was prepping my face to apply makeup, my boyfriend suddenly came up behind me and threw my foundation bottle onto the floor. It smashed everywhere, including on me, and I screamed, mostly because I was so shocked and confused. My boyfriend seemed a bit regretful and told me he had done it to show me how I don't need makeup at all. I didn't know what to say. I was literally stunned, and then I was a bit scared. I left the room without saying anything. I really don't know how to feel. Obviously, it was a bad idea for him to do it. It was Dior foundation, so it cost a bit. But I really can't decide whether it came from a place of good or not. Was it a misguided attempt to show me that he respects and loves me? Or was he just backtracking after making a mistake? I'm really not sure how I should feel. I'm not sure if I'm overacting, but she means overreacting. She said overacting. But it's not like he threw it at my head or something, but it does feel off. What should I do from here? First of all, you should find out how much it costs to replace that bottle of makeup and then hold out your hand like this. You hold out your hand like this, and you cross my palm with silver, sir, because what you just destroyed of my property, you're going to pay me for it. Okay, now. The second thing I would recommend is that I don't know if you're ready to break up with him, but for me, this is such a large offense that it would warrant a breakup. See, one thing, that's really interesting because you don't say how long you've been dating this dude. I'm going over this again real quick. That's normally the number one thing that women want to talk about. So this leads me to think that this must be a somewhat new relationship, and he's come in the door trying to regulate on what you do with your face and your body and your money. Telling you what you don't need. Motherfucker, you don't get to decide what I need. And that's what you should have told him. Soon as he said that the first time, and this goes for any of you who have to deal with men who think they're going to tell you what to do and what you need. You tell them, I don't give a fuck what you think I need. I decide what I need. And what I don't need right now is you trying to tell me what to do. I had a daddy and you don't look like him. So you don't tell me nothing. Okay, I'm going to do what I want to do. And either you're going to like it or you're going to get the hell out of my life. Those are your two choices. There's no choice C. You either like what I do and keep your big mouth shut, or you go find somebody else who wants to run around looking the way that you want somebody to look like a damn bear or something. I choose not to do that. I choose to wear makeup. I like wearing makeup. It makes me feel good to look in the mirror and see what I look like. Okay, this ain't about you. And it ain't about you telling me what I need. See, that's the speech he would have got from me. So that would have been, his notice right there. That's if you wanted to deal with him. But like I said, since you did mention, we've been together for 2 years, girls usually say that like right up front in the letter. Only when it's something really new do they leave that out. That's why I say it leads me to believe this guy is new on the scene and he coming in and trying to regulate. So you think about what I said, because a guy who would go this far to push what he thinks down your throat with no regard for your opinion about it. Like I said, no regard for respect for your property or your desires, especially when it's your body and your choice and your money, is to me a major red flag. And I would dump him on the spot. Well, after I got my money, either that or go to, take something of his that was worth equivalent value and say, I'm gonna hold on to this until you give me my money. And if you don't give me my money, it's going to the nearest pawn shop so I can get my money. And then, in which case, I will replace my makeup. I'll give you the ticket. You can go and get it. But you're going to give me my money. So I'm seeing this thing doing weird thing. He's just doing the absolute most. Let me get over here to where the comments are and see what the ladies have to say about it. Yeah, extremely controlling. I mean, to the point where he's going to be tearing up your stuff? Dude would have to go. Question number 2. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group. She's of mixed racial heritage from Nottingham in the East Midlands of the UK. Summary of issue: my partner is adding up debts behind my back. I don't see what that has to do with you, but let's see what you have to say. I'm struggling here. I have a partner who lives with me, but keeps accumulating debts behind my back and then lies about it. We've been together for over 3 years, and when he moved in with me into my family home, he didn't make me aware of his debts. I only found out when we looked at extending the house together. Since then, he's had 2 loans to pay back, credit card debts off, and he does all of this behind my back. What is your advice? You kick him out of your house. This is my thing is, so he's living in your house, right? Which probably means it's your family home and it's paid for, right? You didn't say anything about a mortgage. Family home generally means it's inherited from one, generation to the next, in which case it's been paid off for like a long time ago. So you're looking at making the house bigger because, houses used to be smaller in the olden days, unless you lived in a palace. So, or an estate of some sort, But in a situation like this, If he's got all these debts and stuff, then he's not really contributing his fair share to what's going on in the household because he's got all this mounting debt. The thing that's concerning to me is what's this debt for? He's, quote, accumulating debt. Is he gambling? That's where my mind went. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but that's where my mind went. How are you going to be getting in new debt and you don't have nothing to show for it? Because, like, see, if he was getting in debt like he bought, I don't know, a boat, a new car, I don't know, a house, something, you would know about it because there would be some tangible evidence of what he purchased and what he went into debt for. The fact that he was able to keep it a secret and you don't know anything about it leads me to believe that it was some underhanded stuff. Either it's the D thing or it's gambling, the G thing. And I think it's the G thing. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. But I don't think that's what they was talking about. So this dude here, I don't know, he would be giving the boot up out of my house. I don't do sneaky, this what people call the sneaky link. He's doing something sneaky. I can't be bothered. I don't want to be wondering what you're doing. And if stuff next going to start disappearing about my house because you in such debt, you don't have no money. So you started selling off my stuff behind my back. See, no. If you're doing stuff behind my back and it's some underhanded stuff, I can't trust you and I don't want you in my circle. And you're definitely not going to be up in my house. So that would be my advice to you. Tell him that he needs to get out, pay off all his debt, and then maybe y'all could talk again. But by then, you'll probably be married to somebody with some better sense. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African-American from Richmond, Virginia. Summary of issue. My boyfriend won't marry me even after 8 years together, so I left. The implied is his ass, but she didn't put that. That was me adding that in. My ex-boyfriend, and she put in parentheses, no quotes rather, Malik, so you know that's not his real name, is 29 and I am 25. We got together when I was just 18. We've grown so much together as people. We figured out our life plan together. We even plan to have children in the next couple of years. However, one of my boundaries was marriage before 8 years. Why? Because if you don't want to marry someone after being together for that long, then why stay together at all? Good job, but that should be like 3 years, not 8. Malik and I have built a life together. He makes 6 figures in the tech industry and owns his own consultancy company. I own my own drop shipping business and work in marketing. Everything has been good, but despite being financially stable, emotionally developed people, Malik just would not marry me. I asked him for months if it was something I had done. Did he find me unattractive now? He said no, just not yet. I reminded him of my boundaries. He told me he was aware. Well, it was my 25 and after Malik, I had to pretend that my birthday was a happy day and pretended to be all I can do to get over this man and how he strung me along for years and wasted some of the best years of my life. Oh, you must not have found this channel until very, very recently. Because you would have known better than date somebody for no 8 years. I tell after you turn 21, he should have been Johnny on the spot. He got his on with this stupid internet. Keep going out. I'm just looking at this internet just hanging and acting stupid. Yeah, it's buffering. I can see it on the where it shows the bars, and it's going in and out. I don't know what's wrong. YouTube always does it to me. It never fails. So anyway, that would be my suggestion. I'm not going to blame Malik for this. I'm going to blame you. You did this to yourself by sticking around so long. See, and it's the thing, you living with him and you built a life with him and you did all these wife things, but you weren't the wife. What'd you do that for? You don't live with a man that you're not married to. I mean, unless you old like me and you don't want to get married. Because, older people, like, it cuts into their Social Security and stuff. They get more when they stay single. I'm keeping that in mind. So when I get mine, I'm not living with nobody. I don't want to live with nobody anyway. But you know what I mean? It's like, why should I sacrifice some money to be looking at you? You ain't that cute anyway. You old. I don't know what's wrong with this damn thing. I think it's YouTube because they always screwing me over. So that's what I have to say, girlfriend. I mean, I think you did make the right decision ultimately to leave, but you should have done it years ago. Okay, so don't be mad at him. That's misplaced anger. There's no reason to be mad at yourself either, because when you know better, you do better. Now you know better, so you'll never make that kind of mistake again. You will not invest years and years and years of your life, almost a decade, with a man who doesn't want what you want out of life. You gave him the best years of your life, and you helped him to get to where he is by providing a home and comfort and love and nook and everything else. You made him the man that he is, but he wasn't your husband. You shouldn't have been doing all that. You gave him too much. Let's move on to question number 4. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's Caucasian from North Carolina. Summary of issue: why can't people be direct and honest and just straight up say no thanks? Well, I'll tell you why in a minute. Really, I know it is what it is, and such is the nature of this world. But I really wish people would just say thanks for the date, but I don't see this working out. Instead of telling you how much fun they had, what a good kisser you are, enthusiastically agreeing to seeing you again, then never opening your messages ever again. Oh, damn. It's like, I'm not really mad. I just feel that sinking feeling of disappointment of, oh, come on, man. Why can't women just be honest about how they feel? I'll tell you why. Because even though you seem to be a young man with good sense and, rational mind, the majority of your peers are no such thing. They're crazy. They're violent. They feel entitled. They like to, hurt women who, if they feel like the women are rejecting them in some way. They're not mature at all, and they have no emotional intelligence. So their reaction to what you say is just a simple truth would be very risky and dangerous for the young lady. Now, you may say, well, not all men are like that, and that's true. But how are we supposed to know which one is and which one isn't? It's not like there's a sign on your forehead. You don't get a tattoo saying stupid motherfucker on your forehead. So we don't know until we tell you we don't want to be bothered with you. And then that's when the chips start falling. So you may think that, it's very easy to do this. It's no big deal. Why do women play the nice game? That's why they do it. Okay. So now what you have to do, if you don't like that, just give her, write it out and say, do you want to see? Instead of saying that, say, do you want to see me again? And don't be kissing on them and doing all this kind of stuff like that tries to make them feel obligated to see you again or say they're going to. Be cool on the first couple of days. Okay, don't do no PDAs, no touching of her. Leave her alone and let her be able to make an assessment of how she really feels without all those other entanglements and issues that you add into the picture here. After his kissing and all this old stuff here, you doing too much. You put her in a position where she feels like if she says no and rejects you, that you're going to act a fool. The way to mitigate that is to keep her at a certain distance. So if she feels comfortable being distant from you, then you can get that truth that you're talking about. But you start putting the mash on her like this, and a lot of girls don't really want to do that. Right? They do it because they feel like if they don't, and they they tell you, I don't want to kiss you or something, that you're going to be stupid, like I said. Some dudes, they want to put their hands on the girl. They want to punch her, hit her, slap her, all this kind of stuff. They want to threaten her. And then some even escalate to other things because they feel that entitled to her time and body. So I want you to understand what I'm saying here. You're looking at this solely from your perspective. You're not considering the young women and their safety and their fear concerns. Because I'm telling you, you could look online and see the way these men talk about what they deserve from women. They're not wrapped tight at all. They're crazy as Betsy Bugs. So when a young lady is going on a date, she's basically taking her life in her hands. I just, I think about it, but I just would not want to be bothered anymore. But she's basically taking her life in her hands and trusting that you're not going to K her on this alleged date. Okay, that's what women have to contend with. A lot of them never make it home, okay, from their dates. So keep that in mind before you get all in your feelings and talking about what women should say and what should do to make you comfortable. Because bottom line, from Deborah Cooper's perspective, fuck you. It's not about you. Your little feelings have nothing to do with her making it back home alive and in one piece. And that's what she's trying to do. Okay? Think about it from that way. And then you'll see how nonsensical your complaint is. Your complaint in the grand scheme of things is so irrelevant, it's not even funny. Question number 5. This is a female in the 42 to 49 age group. She's African American from Birmingham, Alabama. Summary of issue: having a child with a much younger man. Oh, wait, 42 to 49? What you trying to do? I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. Maybe reassurance? After years of fertility issues, I somehow got pregnant by a man who's 16 years my junior. I'm 43 and he's 27. Ooh, you nasty. It was never supposed to be a serious relationship in my eyes. We met by chance and it just worked out. Anyway, here we are happily living together and been together for nearly 2 years now. My baby boy is due any day now and everything is going so well with the pregnancy, and I feel like I'm with a man that loves and respects me. However, I'm constantly worried about our age gap and what the future holds. I know my hormones are all over the place right now, but any success stories would be great. Please don't be offended, but older women / younger men stories are better for me to hear. In this world we live in, no one seems to care when the man is older, yet such raised eyebrows when it's the other way around. Well, I don't give a shit either. I'm going to just say this. What do you think the chance? Okay, you a baby mama at 43 by choice. That's what you wanted. With some man who's not even 30 years old. You know, they don't get no sense until they get about 35. Men have a good 7 or 8 year spread between just being stupid and then being too old. So you caught him a little bit before he gets out of his stupid phase. I mean, great. It's nice that he seems to be more mature than some of his peers. That's wonderful. Is he going to be mature enough to handle being a father? That has yet to be proven. We'll see. I mean, he might, buck up and be like somebody who's got younger siblings and know how to take care of and be a more, like the eldest in his family and have taken a leadership role. And I mean, he might be an exception. And generally, though, 27-year-old men are whores and they just don't be thinking about nothing serious. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you any older women, younger men stories, because the ones I know, they didn't have no damn baby, not at 43. I mean, and you think about that. I mean, it's great that it's your first child and all this old stuff here. So by the time your child graduates from college, your ass going to be solidly in Social Security land. Does that make sense to you? I would not want to have a child, an infant at 43. So, you think about this and, you better take care of yourself too. Because, especially black folks, stuff starts happening. High blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, all this kind of stuff starts creeping up on you in your late 40s. Take care of yourself. Eat well. Don't be eating that typical Southern greasy food, fried everything, drowning in gravy and butter. Eat your ass some salads and don't you dare put no Thousand Island dressing on it. And don't you make it out of iceberg lettuce. Either you eat some romaine and you eat some kale and you eat some spinach and you eat some stuff that's good for you. You need to be here for this damn baby you just made at 43. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to tell you any success stories. You don't need to worry about what other people did. You need to worry about you and your kid and your childless little 27-year-old boy. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't even want to look at nobody 27. It's like, oof. She good though. Question number 6. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from Philadelphia. The male, same age group, the same race. Summary of the issue. This guy approached me to ask for my number on the street. Really? A white dude. This is interesting. I am new to the channel, but already a fan. Oh, well, welcome. Last weekend, I was walking on the street by myself when I noticed a guy smiling in my general direction. I thought nothing of it, but he approached me to start a conversation, asking me for directions to a coffee shop. He eventually told me that he wanted my number and, quote, couldn't pass the opportunity up, apologizing if he interrupted me. It was in the afternoon. He had to be close to my age. I'm 23. It took me back, and really, I had to take a minute, but I did engage in this conversation, and I'm questioning if that was a silly move. I've never dated in my life, and I'm not on the apps. I heard on your videos how you always have a Google phone number. Since I was not intending to date, I kept putting it off. The dude was decently good looking. He didn't give me a creepy vibe, but I told him I don't give my number to people. So he asked if he could write his down for me. I agreed, and he wrote his number and name on a receipt. I told my cousin about it. She introduced me to your channel, and she said I handled this poorly and to write a letter to ask for advice directly. My cousin recommended me to the channel because hears rather, the family pressuring me to date and how I have to smile at men. And she put question mark. I know enough to not tell my family, but they keep insisting. I'm 23 and have not dated. Anytime I'm on my phone, they say they hope I have a boyfriend. Wow. Often they try to get me to talk to any guy that will look at me. Nothing draws me to dating for now, but I worry that I'm too naive and inexperienced to know how to behave or what to think of a guy asking me out. I will follow input if my letter is chosen. Thank you. Well, you're going to first get that Google number. Okay. Stop putting it off because it's something that you can use for anything. You know, when you go register for them grocery cards at the store, the discount cards and stuff, or you go and I don't know, anything really other than work where they'll need to reach you, directly. Anything like that, any kind of like guarantee situation, warranties, because all that stuff ends up on mailing lists. You would want to put the Google number, not your real number. That's how you get spam calls. I don't get any spam calls. You know why? Because they spam call my Google number, and they can call that till their fingers turn into nubs, and they will never get me. So I never get spam calls on my real phone number because my real phone number is not listed anywhere. That's how you do that. So it's not just for dating. Okay, you made a mistake there. It provides a barrier for you as a single woman for your privacy and for your protection from many different things. Okay, because once you end up on the mailing list, you don't know who's buying those lists and what it is they want your information for. It's also good to have not necessarily a P.O. box, but one of the mailboxes, etc. kind of things with a street address is attached to it. You attach that in your Google phone number, and there you go. So people want to go somewhere and find out where you are. You know what address they're gonna have? That one. It costs a little money, but you know what? $100 and something a year for your peace of mind. I write that check every year, and I love it because nobody be coming to my house. So that's why you have to do things that way. It's not just about dating. Now, in this situation, taking his number, if you were going to take it, was, I would have just told him no, thank you. But, since you have no experience, you might not have that level of confidence yet. And so taking his number was probably the smartest way to get out of this situation. Are you going to call him? No, you're not. What you're going to do is that receipt, you're going to throw it in the garbage. Now, why would I say that? You say, well, I didn't get any creepy vibes from him. How would you know if you don't have no experience at this? I'm not saying that you can't trust yourself, but I'm just saying with someone who's no experience with dealing with these kinds of men and these kinds of dangers, can we trust what you say just right off the bat? Your cousin who knows you well was alarmed. So I would rather go with her perspective because she knows you and the situation and stuff. And you yourself admit that you don't have any experience at this. So I'm a little hesitant to say, you read the situation right. I would feel better if you had more experience dealing with different types of men so that you could accurately assess him. See, right now you don't have that. You don't have that background. You don't have that tool set. So we're going to play it safe with you. And I'm going to tell you this. The character of a man who would walk up to a random woman on the street, knowing how risky that is for women and how dangerous, is someone who I would feel is garbage. You as a man, the classy men don't do such things. Men who are like higher echelon don't try to pick up women on the street. They don't try to do that. If they're in an environment like a networking event, a business, some kind of business event, a workshop, a lecture, something like that, and they walk up and talk to you, well, that's different. You're both in this environment for the same purpose, and it's not random on the street kind of thing. Some dude just seeing you on the street and walking up to you like that is high risk. You don't know what is going on with this dude. You don't know if he's going to try to pull you into a car. You don't know if he's going to stick you with something. You don't know. I don't let dudes come up to me on the street. I just don't do it. Okay, so Kimberly's from Philly, and she said you're going to have to be street smart if you're going to be out in the city. Okay, so listen to her. She's been around here for a long time and she lives in Philly. Okay. So I'm just saying, I've only been there one time. I was not impressed. The men were dusty as hell. I couldn't wait to leave. And so I don't know. I'm just really nervous for you um, to get yourself in these kind of situations. I mean, it's great that it worked out well and nothing happened to you and all that stuff. I'm thankful for that. But please be aware of the fact, and every other young lady listening to this, men of class don't pick up women on the street. They don't try. They say hello to you. They say good day to you, this and that. If this is a kind of situation, like say you see the same dude on the commuter train every day, 5 days a week for a couple of months, then finally he says, I see you all the time, blah, 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 blah. And you all strike up a conversation. He's still not trying to pick you up. He's just talking. Okay, so then after some weeks of that, he might say, well, do you want to grab a coffee or something like that? And okay, so that's a natural progression. But still, it's not walking up to you, a random woman that he just sees walking down the street and tries to pick you up. Totally different. So keep these scenarios in mind. Men, and remember the top number one thing, men of class do not try to pick women up on the street. If you're on the street and he's trying to pick you up, he's treating you like trash. Because that's what we do, right? We pick up trash and put in the garbage can. You don't let a man pick you up on the street, at a gas station, at a 7-Eleven, none of that. None of that. Men of class don't do women like that. If he's approaching you in that kind of way, he's this garbage dude. Okay, and I don't care what color he is. Question number 7. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Southeast Asian from Glendale, California. And he says, summary of issue, I'm slowly realizing that being nice gets me taken advantage of. You don't say. This is more of a rant or event than anything, but I need to get this off my chest and hear your thoughts. Miss Deb, the past few girls I've been involved with just treated me like such shit, and I put up with it for so long. I've never gotten angry at a girl before. Like, genuinely, I have never raised my voice or gotten frustrated. But the way some girls act, that seems like the only thing I can do to get treated properly. Okay, well, let me finish your letter, and we'll go back to this. I hooked up with a girl. We got together a bunch of times. She said she really liked me and had a massive crush on me. Fast forward a few months, and I asked to move things forward to be exclusive, and she freaks out and says some not very nice things. I stopped talking to her after that, and I don't see her until I bump into her yesterday at a club. She comes up to me like nothing happened, being all flirty. Me, being the goddamn nice idiot that I am, throw my plan to tell her to pound sand out the window. The minute I'm hit with her puppy eyes, and I fell for it again. Same shit. I am so dumb. Like, she knows that she can take advantage of me. She knows I won't tell her to get lost. That's why she does this. Generally have to stop being such a pushover, but my God, sometimes as a man, you're just weak to your impulses. You mean to your dick. Don't try to use big words with me. She's beautiful and knows how to look innocent. It's like I am hopeless. Any suggestion for me? Grow the fuck up, sir. Grow up. You know what? As a man, you're going to run into so many beautiful women in your lifetime. I mean, she's just like one of what's probably going to be hundreds of thousands. And you know what? If you let yourself, and see this, ooh. When you're a man who has no spine like this, and you don't stand up for yourself, you don't tell women no. You don't tell them, like you say, pound sand. You don't demand that you be treated with respect and talked to with respect. Then women don't respect you. And that's what you're getting now. You're saying, well, I'm too nice. It's not that you're too nice. It's that you lack confidence and you have no spine. So some woman who treated you this way, right? She sees you in a club and she comes to you like nothing happened. You're supposed to say, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. You didn't want to talk to me then. Don't talk to me now. Just move the fuck on. That's what you're supposed to tell her loudly so that everybody knows you ain't about that life. Okay, but you didn't do that. Instead, you entertained her bullshit. So she knows you're weak. And you didn't think she respects you like that? That was a test and you failed. You were supposed to go smooth off on her or turn your back into your friend and go like, yeah, well, anyway, like, I'm telling you, want to see somebody be cold. Look at a brother. Brothers had that shit down. I think this dog people out. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying in a situation for someone like you, who's at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you need to come more in the middle, and so do they really. But you need to come more to the middle where you at least stand up for yourself. You don't take disrespect, and you don't be like a little puppy wagging your tail for another, so hoping somebody pets you. That's how you're coming across. She knows that she can take advantage of me. Well, yeah. I mean, come on now. You have to do better. How do you handle yourself at work if you act like this just because somebody bats their eyes at you and gives you puppy eyes? She probably practiced that shit at home so she can use it on men who are silly. You better grow up and you better get you some game real quick. Fix your mouth so you don't be falling for this stuff. And if some girl tries to run this game on you, you flip it around and say, well, yeah, it sounds like to me like you try to apologize or some shit and you need to buy me a drink or two. Make it up to me for how you treated me before. You flip the script on her ass and get something out of her. Make her buy you some drinks and stuff. And then when you get done drinking, you say, well, bye, bitch. And then you be on about your business. That's how you do heifers like her. Oh, I tell you, I would be a savage dude. I would be savage. Yeah, you got to be street smart. Yeah, Kimberly, you really, I mean, you're going to be doing any big city, but I know them East Coast dudes is just special. They kind of like Oakland dudes. I just would not be having this. I don't understand. Let's move on to question number 8. This young lady's in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from Rochester, New York. The male in question is 35 to 42 of mixed racial heritage. Summary of issue. I have no clue what my SO does all day. It's finally hit me that his daily life is a total mystery. He's 38, but he doesn't work. What? He seldom handles any chores, and he used to have a lot of hobbies, but he doesn't seem engaged with them anymore. I'm 33 and leave for work by 9. I take the dogs out before I go. He feeds them breakfast and lets them outside after I leave. I usually get home from work about 6:30. Sometimes he's home, sometimes he's not. I almost always make dinner and do all the grocery shopping, and in the evenings, I also take care of the dogs. Sometimes he's not home until 9 or 10. When I ask about his day and what he's been up to, what his plans are for tomorrow, etc., he gets defensive or gives short answers like stuff. This used to be more of a contention point. If I tried to talk to him about his day or anything, he'd deflect or get annoyed, and I'd feel confused or sad. Another person who needs a damn spine. Now I don't push the issue, accept short answers, and find other things to talk about. I don't suspect that he's doing anything abnormal or cheating or anything, but I really just don't know what he does all day or what to do about it. We've been renovating a house for a year, but he hasn't started or completed a project for it in over 6 months. His family owns an apartment that he agreed to work on last year. Sometimes he said he was working at the apartment and used that to explain not working at the house. But then it turned out he was telling them the same story, but inverted. When I asked him what he was up to, he'd get really touchy. He's been unemployed for 5 years. He's currently covered in bug bites. Edit by covered, I mean half of his back. Ed asked me to take a look this morning. He said he got them yesterday. When I asked where, he said in the woods. He was getting out of the shower when I got home today around 6, and he hadn't touched anything in the house, but the bed was still, I made dishes in the kitchen, a spill on the dining room table. He seemed surprised to see me and muttered something that then got dressed and went to the basement. May be of note, not only are his days a mystery, but his nights as well. I'm usually in bed about 10:30. He doesn't come to bed until 2, 3, 4 a.m. Always on his phone. Wow. I know communication is typically the answer, but how do you improve communication in a relationship when one partner won't participate? What partner? What partner? You don't have a partner. You have a man who's living at your house rent-free, eating rent-free, screwing you free, doing whatever the fuck he wants to do free. That's what you have. A pimp. You don't have a partner. He's not helping you do anything. That's what partnership means. You're in it together. You just being stupid. You just letting somebody pimp and use you. That's what's going on at your house. What you would do if you had any sense at all is tell him to get the fuck out. Take his hush puppies and his fantasies and his phone and to get out. That's what you would do. Most likely, I don't know what the rules are in Rochester, New York. You'll probably have to go through the formal eviction process since he's been living there. But see, this is why you don't let men move into your house. I done told y'all this 500 bazillion times. If he can't provide the domicile in which the two of you will reside, then he doesn't deserve to have a woman waking up next to him. This goes for whether you're single or married. I don't recommend moving in with a man, but if you're going to do such a stupid thing, at least make it so that he's providing the housing. Should you be paying half? Fuck no. Is he going to do half the housework and all other stuff that goes into maintaining a household? No, he's not. And you and he both know it. So that's why men pay for the housing. All of it. You don't pay shit. You don't pay half the rent. You don't pay half the mortgage. You don't pay nothing. He pays everything. And then you buy groceries and cook. You buy stuff that if you want to leave, you can take it with you. Curtains and shit, or something you don't really care about. You don't go investing in a house with a man that you're not married to, and you don't be paying the mortgage, and you don't be paying half the rent either. So that's a mistake that most of you make. If he wants you to move in with him, that's a convenience. That's for him. You shouldn't be going in there like a roommate, paying half of everything and then serving him up and taking care of him and all that other shit for free. Y'all have lost your minds. I don't understand what kind of women mothers are raising these daughters. Y'all got this shit flipped. You taking care of men instead of letting men taking care of you. He's not a man if he got a woman and he's not taking care of her. He's not a man. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing with these dudes. Taking care of him. You going to work every day. He's sitting on his ass. Girl, get rid of this fool. I don't know what he's doing, but you know what? It covered in bug bites. Sound like he's been laying in something like Roach Motel and got bed bug bites. That's what it sounds like to me. But you know, because I can't imagine where only his back in the woods, because they usually get your arms and your legs. Like if you know not fully covered up with boots and long pants, they usually get your arms, your face, you know, like ticks and stuff like that. Don't ask me about DNN. That's a thorn in my side right now. It's going to put me in a bad mood. So let's move on to question number 9. This is a female, 22 to 27. She's Caucasian from Scarborough, Canada. The male in question is 28 to 34. He's also Caucasian. Summary of issue. This guy made out with me and it made me very uncomfortable. This man, age 32, who I knew I was in a vulnerable state after being done with a relationship for 4 years, started making out with me and doing other things that I did not consent to, but I also did not say no to. Okay, so you did the passive no. We did not have what you call nook. It stopped short of that. But in all honesty, I was really tired out of it. My breakup was not even a month old. And I really just wanted a friend, nothing more. And that was explained. And he said when I told him that, he respected that. Every time I think about that night, I feel so guilty and uncomfortable because I was in so much shock. And I was so tired that I knew what was happening. I was not enjoying it and technically did not say stop or no. Even though I'm 23 years old, I didn't do anything. I kind of felt like a dummy. Until a few days went by, and then I became angry, sad, and uncomfortable. But I also can't be mad because I didn't stop it, right? He has blown up my phone since. He kept texting me, asking to hang out, showing up at my job for food. I did not respond at all until once again this weekend that I am not interested and to leave me alone. I blocked his number. Then he messaged me on Snapchat and showed up at my job again for food. I'm just not sure how to feel or what to do at this point. Can you provide me with some guidance? Don't you guys have security at your job? You point to the guy and say, this man is stalking me. He does not need to come here. I told him to leave me alone, and he keeps coming here anyway. You can show them the Snapchats and then show them where you blocked his number and stuff. So then, you know, you're in a position where you can get a restraining order. Especially if he keeps coming to your job. You can get a restraining order. He can't come in that place of business, nor can he call you, nor can he come anywhere where you know you're going to be. It could come to that. And if he was doing stuff and you didn't want him to do it, you obviously weren't really participating that much. You know, a normal guy would see that this is not really what's really going on and you're not really interested. He would stop. The guy who keeps going has an artist mentality. And so he doesn't care whether you like it or not, whether you into it or not. He's going to keep going because that's what he wants. So you're right to finally cut him loose. It's unfortunate that you didn't say stop and no. What's also unfortunate is that you're so stupid. You going to think at your age, 30, whatever you are, that you're going to just be friends with a man that you meet out in the wild on a dating site or whatever. These men aren't on there to try to be your goddamn friend. Stop tripping. You wanted a friend, you should go get you go talk to one of your female relatives or a female friend about your breakup and all this kind of stuff. You don't be looking for friends online on dating sites with horny, disturbed, mentally ill men. Okay, so you put yourself in a very bad situation. You need to stay off them damn dating sites because something's wrong with you. your sense of danger and your choices that you're making are highly suspect and not in your best interest at all. This is very unfortunate. That's what you're going to do. Any dating profile, you're going to take it offline and you're not going to go on no dating sites. Then you're going to get your little ass in some therapy and figure out why you so disturbed and why, letting stuff like this happen to you. It's actually like actively seeking out these kind of men under the guise of, quote, being your friend. He don't know you from a hole in the ground. He ain't about your friendship on the dating site. You tripping. He trying to get some ass. That's what they're there for. They just want a friend. This is crazy. Question number 10. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group, Latino from Oakland, California. Summary of issue. This is a question for women. I moved back home with my moms over a year ago. I stopped drinking. I started working on myself. I got a good paying job, but I haven't moved out of my mom's house yet. Don't plan to for a while. It's a financial decision. Now, here's the question. Should I even try to date? I've had a few false starts, just not compatible. I've been hesitant to really get out and try, though. I'm not hurting on confidence. I'm looking for a pep talk. I just want to know from you ladies how more likely women are to date a man that's living back at home in this particular environment compared to one who is living on his own or with a male roommate. Well, I'm going to tell you, you considerably younger group than I would date. However, let me put it this way. Pre-COVID, it was a lot. You wouldn't have got no play at all. Situation has slightly changed. So many people are out of work. So people lost their homes. They lost their jobs. They lost their savings. They lost their apartments. They lost everything. Companies closed. People lost their businesses. Their entire livelihood went up in smoke. Even people who did keep their jobs, their hours were cut, or they had to take a job that paid them half of what they used to make. So now they're working 2 or 3 jobs. And people are living, packing up in a house. I heard this, okay, a 1-bedroom apartment, they put bunk beds in there. So 4 people share that room, and they put a curtain in the living room so one person sleeps there. So they have 5 people. It's a pretty big 1-bedroom place, though. Don't get me wrong, it's big. But still, it's a 1-bedroom apartment, and there's now 5 people living there sharing the cost because all of them lost jobs or got hours cut or, now working minimum wage and stuff like this, just trying to get back on their feet. So the fact that you're living with your mother in itself might not be such a big deal. The issue is going to come in how you living. Are you helping her? Or are you just chilling, putting all your money in your bank account? Do you do chores? Do you kick your mama down some money to make life easier for her? With you there running up the lights and eating up the food and running up the gas bill and the water bill? Making more dishes and shit? Are you making sure that she's not suffering financially because your ass is there? Yeah, you see what I mean? You buying food? Are you expecting her to do that? How are you living, my brother? That is going to be the question. Now, if you hear this message, my response rather, and you realize that you've been sitting on your ass and just chilling and letting your mama take care of you like you still ate, well, then I suggest you get off your ass and be a man. You in the house with your mother, that's fine. You don't have to pay housing, but you need to be paying something. You ain't going to live nowhere for free. So what you doing? You give that some thought. Because if you meet a woman and she's the right kind of chick, she going to ask you. And you better have a fucking answer that's verifiable by your mother. Because she going to ask her too. So don't think you're just going to lie and get away with it. Because she'll put your business on Front Street and you'll be looking real stupid online. So think about it in Oakland, California. Question number 11. This is a male in the 35 to 42 age group. He's Asian Indian from Edmonton, Canada. The female in his question is 35 to 42 also, and she's white/European. Summary of issue, it seems I have a lazy girlfriend. I'm 36 and never been in a relationship before recently. I finally met someone who seemed to like me, but I can't help but feel like I'm the only one who gives a shit. She doesn't work. She sits at home all day, and the second I walk in the door today, she tells me I need to do laundry. I work from 8 to 5:30, so I come home, wash dishes, cook dinner, then she gets upset if I do anything other than give her attention. I should probably just end it, but I feel like I might never meet someone again. What should I do? Suffer? Stay there and suffer. That's what you're going to do. You're going to do that until you finally get fed up, and then you'll kick her out. But right now, you was so lonely and horny and stuff. You feel like, well, I finally got some booty and somebody to talk to me and lay next to at night, and I'm just loving it. And so if I have to wash the dish and cook and get yelled at and get demands made on me, I'm just gonna put up with it, even though I'm kind of miserable. But at least I have some booty. That's what you're thinking. You think I don't know these things? You know how long I've been doing this? I know what you know. I know what you're thinking before you do, sir. So that's what's going on with you. But at some point, you're either A, going to meet someone else that does treat you right and you're going to get rid of her real quick, or B, she's going to meet somebody who's got more money and is willing to do more for her than you do, and then she's going to leave you for him. So it's going to be one of those two things. Because I don't see you really you talk about it, but I don't think you're going to really do anything because you're too scared that you're going to not meet somebody again. That's what's going to happen. See, I'm psychic. Have Miss Cleo superpowers. You know it's true. Well, I can't do these. These people have these relationships where they have these partners that sit on their butt and don't do nothing. I cannot. I don't even understand that kind of lifestyle. How you going to be going to work all day and you come home and somebody been sitting there eating bonbons, eating bonbons with their feet, with their legs crossed and the remote in their hand. Oh, no. Question number 12. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Male, 28 to 34. Serve issue. My boyfriend says he won't propose to me unless I set a date to leave my job. Hey, Deb. So I'm 25 and my boyfriend is 33. We've been together for just over a year. Around the same time we got together, I had been accepted for a job that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It was a long process and a lot of hard work and waiting, but I got through it. And I've done the training, and now I'm working it full time. The thing is, early on, my boyfriend said that he couldn't be with someone who works in the industry that I will be working in, and he couldn't imagine raising a family with them and living closer to a city. I admire his family values, beliefs, and morals as they're not dissimilar to my own, which is why I continue to spend time with him. I took around 10 months for the job references and checks to be completed, and we were spending all of our time together whilst it was going on. He's been my rock. We've fallen in love, and now we live together. I've never been a career-inclined person, much to my family's detest. According to my older sister, I'm not a very maternal person, which really hurts because I'd love to be a mom. I want to start a family and get married. And my boyfriend has convinced me that my profession wouldn't make raising a family the easiest because of long periods away alongside his career, which is a different roster each week. So my question is, do I leave my job for him? Hell no, you don't leave your job for him. Girl, are you crazy? All the trouble that you went through to get this job. And how old are you again? You're 25 years old. Do you know how many years you have to get married and have kids? At least 10 more. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to work for your job and do everything and enjoy all the perks and benefits of the job you fought so hard to get. You're going to get the experience under your belt. You're going to notch up some accomplishments in your position. Then you can quit. Now, see, the reason why you don't do this now, he's just a mere boyfriend that you only been with for a year. There's no ring on your finger. There's no wedding day. Say, what would you quit your job for based on his representations that he might want to propose? Does that mean that you'll get married? No, it does not. It just means that he's holding out this carrot to see if he can manipulate you into giving up your dream. Don't be stupid. Don't be a dummy. Okay. You tell him, well, when I have kids and it gets to that point where I need to quit my job and stay at home and take care of my kids, then I'll do that. But right now I don't have any kids and nor am I married. So I don't really need to worry about that. I'm going to do this. And this is what I'm going to do. Now, if you want to propose, you can do that, but it's not going to change nothing. I'm still going to be doing this. If you don't want to propose, that's fine too. We only been dating for a year. It's not like, we missing anything. I wish you hadn't moved in with him, though. It would be much easier for you to dump him. You're trying to put yourself in a position where you're going to have a man start trying to control what you do. This is a slippery slope, and it's a very dangerous thing for you to even think about. The immediate words out of your mouth when he suggested that is, well, too bad. If this is not the kind of wife you want, then we could break up today because, this is what I want to do. This is the person that I am. This is the person you're dating. And you and no one else is going to dictate what I do with my life and my choices. This is what I choose to do for me in my life. This is what's going to fulfill me. It has nothing to do with you, and it definitely don't have nothing to do with being married to your ass. So you want me to sacrifice all my dreams to be married to you? You ain't that cute. Nor is being married to you that much of a win. So you got some shit confused, my brother. See, that's the kind of speech he was supposed to get to put him back in his envelope. Because he's just popping up and just thinking, that he's running shit and that being engaged in him is like all that in a bag of chips. It's not. Okay, you only 25, and so you don't really know what you in for. Stay where you are. Make your dreams come true. Get your accomplishments underway. Win awards, whatever it is you're doing, because you never said what your career path was. But whatever the kudos and benefits are that you can achieve, you do them. Then when you get older and you get tired of this and you decide you want to stay at home and pop out some babies, then you can do that. But you will always have whatever you've learned and all the benefits and all the kudos and the high salary under your belt. Do I leave my job for him? Question number 13. This is a female in the 35 to plus. Okay, I just remember this part too. I was going to say this and I got distracted. Okay, so say you quit your job and he never proposes. What you gonna do? Or say you quit your job and he proposes and then y'all break up before you actually get married. What you gonna do? See how the disturbance there, the out of balance in what's being given up by you to try to get him. There's no guarantee that he's going to come through with what he said. But whereas you got what you got now, and this is a sure thing. Stick to the sure thing. Okay, so back to question number 13. She's 35 to 41 from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Summary of issue. How do I ask a man that I started dating just 6 weeks ago for proof that he is really separated from his wife without it causing an issue in our relationship? Okay, first of all, before I even read any further, separated doesn't mean shit. He's still married. So what you're doing is ready to ask me about how to find out if a married man is separated from his wife. I don't give a fuck if he's separated from his wife. He's still married. Do you know 95% of couples who are separated get back together? They get back together because they have kids they want to try again. So I don't even need to read the rest of this letter. I already know with the slippery slope that you've put yourself on worrying about some dumb shit like that. If you're going to deal with a man who's, quote, separated, which there's no guarantee that he is, then you just don't. You just don't. You go out with him the one time where you figure out that he tells you, well, I'm separated, or you try to come to his house and he says, well, no, because my wife still lives there. We're separated, but I live downstairs, or we have separate bedrooms or some bullshit like that, and I can't bring anyone to the house. He's lying. If he's not lying, who wants to be involved in a situation like that? Any man who attempts to tell you he's separated and you meet him on the dating site, he slides into your DMs on Facebook or one of these other sites, and he starts trying to get at you, you block him. You don't entertain him. He's just looking for some side booty. And you sit up here wasting my time writing me about this bullshit. And at your age, 35 to 41, are you this dumb? Girl, you need to wake up. It can't be that bad in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that you got to be messing with men who are still married. You just provided him with some cushion and some booty. He ain't going to be able to give you shit because he's still married. Okay, I'm not even going to read this because you not thinking clearly, especially for somebody as old as you are. You ought to be embarrassed to write this. Question number 14. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Charleston, South Carolina. She got me. I'm irked. I'm peeved. Separated men. Where they separated? The wife is in the living room and I'm in the bedroom on the phone with you. There's your separation. Or the wife's on a business trip and I'm at home with the kids. There's your separation. So it's not like he's really lying, but you definitely going to misinterpret what he's talking about when he says we're separated. Yeah, we're separated by a plane ride. She'll be home on Sunday night. And you up there thinking it's going to be some big romance. These motherfuckers right here. Ooh. Okay, question number 14. Female 22 to 27 from Charleston, South Carolina. Summary of issue. My boyfriend was upset that I went out today with my family when we'll be having our trip later tonight. How do I move forward after him losing his shit on me? What do you mean, how do we move forward? You move forward without him. This is a no-brainer. Let's see what happened. My boyfriend's 25. I'm 24. I made a plan for tonight several days ago. We already booked everything and he'll be driving us there. Earlier today, my older sister said to come with them to this day trip. I told her that I had made a plan with my boyfriend for the evening and I need to be home by 9 p.m. She said that it won't even take that long. I'm living with my cousin and he is also not working. That's what we decided to join because our other cousins are joining too. I sent him a picture around noon. I think him is the boyfriend. He replied, "What the fuck?" I thought he was joking around, and I answered, "Ha ha, what?" Then he called me, and that's where he started screaming at me and calling me stupid. He was mad because I didn't ask his permission about going to this unplanned day trip. I told him that I'll be back in the city before 8, and he told me, "You better fucking come back right now." I told him that it's 45 minutes away from the city, and I didn't drive. I left my car at my sister's house. I ended the call because he was just screaming at me. He messaged me that if I won't be back before 6, he will drag me back. I told him he's being unreasonable. He's been calling me nonstop. He told me not to fuck around and go somewhere else because he's picking me up. He had my exact location because of sharing location feature. I don't know what to do because right now I don't even want to see him nor go to this trip anymore with him. After everything he said and how he's behaving, I don't understand why he's so upset about this. What do you think? Because you did something and you didn't ask his permission because he's a fucking control freak. The fact that he wouldn't know where you were, so he thinks you went off to meet some other dude. That's what's behind this. His reaction is one of complete jealousy, territorialness, and control. He thinks that you slid off with some other dude, not really believing that you're with your relatives. Like you can't go nowhere with your family unless he gives you permission. What you should do is, you living with your cousin. What you should do is when the boyfriend shows up, call the police and tell them this man is violent and he's threatening you and he's threatening to drag you, which he did do, and that you don't want to be bothered with him anymore. You want him off the premises and you want to file for a restraining order so he can never be around you again. That's what you ought to do. This is what I would do if I didn't pull out Roscoe and proceed to ventilating him. Because one thing I don't do, don't threaten me. Do not threaten me. Because I'm going to take your threat seriously, and then I'm going to be prepared to defend myself, and it's going to end badly for you. So, we could have like gunshot fight at the OK Corral. I mean, is that what we're going to do? We can do that too. But the ideal thing is for a man, if you try to act like this and a woman doesn't want to be bothered with you, leave her alone. Because the next thing you're going to catch a case and you're going to be behind bars because you want to control somebody and run everything. You don't run nothing but your mouth, sir. And that's what he would have got. Because he would have got told. So you need to think about this real carefully. Because you shouldn't go off with somebody like this, off where nobody knows where you are, because you may never be seen again. Nor should you continue a relationship with a man who talks to and treats you like this. You have every right to be around your family and friends anytime you want to. If you're going to be back in time to meet your obligation to him at 9, then that's all that he's supposed to be worried about. Not like you're saying you wasn't going to meet him. You said, you were doing something with your relatives and you'll still see him at the agreed upon time. So I'm not really sure what it is you're looking for me to say, but these are red flags waving all over the place, girlfriend. Question number 15. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Tacoma, Washington. Summary of issue. My boyfriend says I'm making it all about me. My boyfriend is 30 and I'm 26 and we've been together for 5 years now. See how I mean? They always say how long they've been together. We've been talking about marriage and he said because of his quote principles, either I pay for half the ring and he'll ask me in a special way or he pays for all of it and just hands me the ring. I've already told him I don't care if the ring is fake or the price of it. Well, you stupid. It's the fact that he put thought into making a special thing special. I even told him I'll buy his ring, but he says he is not budging because I won't compromise on things like having Nook a certain way with him that he's been wanting or the ring thing. So he's tying his demands for special certain positions of Nook with buying you an engagement ring. And you still talking about marrying this clown? I would have told him, you know what? The half that you was going to spend on the ring for me, shove it up your ass because I'm not marrying you. There's not enough rings and money in this world to make me want to marry you. You're an idiot. But see, you don't understand what this is about. This is about, he's negotiating for use of your body in a way that he wants it. Obviously, you don't because you didn't give in. And he's trying to tie it to something you want, which is to be engaged to him. Why do you want to be engaged with a man who's like this? Don't you understand what kind of person this is? He's an asshole. Who would even think to say something like that and tie those two things together? But someone who's a manipulative idiot. Girl, he's just gross. I mean, to think that, well, if you don't do this for me in the bed, I'm not getting your engagement ring. You're going to have to pay half yourself. I said, no, I'm going to pay all of it, but I'm going to be engaged to someone else, not you. Because we through here, sir. He says, I'm self-centered and making everything about me since I told him I need this for our relationship. He is now calling me his future ex and says I need to give to get. See what I mean? So you're going to earn an engagement ring by letting him do some freak shit to your body that you don't want him to do. I think I know what he's trying to do. Y'all understand? Don't say it. We love each other, and I don't want us to end because of this, but I also don't want to keep waiting and waiting. How can I go about showing him that I'm not asking for much? By leaving him. What is wrong with you? You don't stay with a man who thinks this kind of thing is a way to make a reasonable negotiation with the woman he's supposed to love and respect. What do you not understand what's going on here? Do you not understand the message that he's giving you? This guy's communication style, his basic personality. He's a jerk of immense proportions. He don't give a fuck about you. He's trying to negotiate for what he wants with your body and holding out what you want, which is a commitment for you to get it. So he can keep using that tool to manipulate you over and over and over. So then after that, it's going to be the wedding. And then after that, it's going to be a baby. And after, you know what I mean? It's going to be constantly something he's holding over your head to manipulate you into giving him what he wants sexually. Girl, this is the worst kind of man, the absolute worst kind of man. Any man who doesn't understand that a woman not giving herself to him willingly with 100% enthusiasm for anything that they're going to engage in, he's got an artist mentality. He does not care about you at all. It's not a mutual thing. It's not love making. It's not mutual respect and adoration. It's not sharing of feelings and sentiments and all this kind of stuff. He just get rid of this fool. The more I talk about this guy, the less I like him. If you were my daughter, I'd be having a cow right about now and going to try to find him with all my cousins so we could beat his ass down. That's what we would be doing. Oh my God. No, you're not going to say it, Mo. You already know the rules here. We don't be saying stuff like that. Because Google, they be like, they get fired up. They want to ban your whole damn channel. So you guys be careful with what you say, what you type. I have to watch people when we had them call-in shows because people get on the mic and they start saying all kind of crazy stuff. I have to start reminding people to monitor their language before I start opening up the mics next time. I forgot. Whew, my God. Question number 16. This is a female, 22 to 27 from Peoria, Illinois. Summary of issue. I'm considering breaking up over housework. Deb, and she put like hella exclamation marks. My partner does nothing to contribute housework-wise. I do all the cooking and cleaning, deep cleaning, and day-to-day tasks. I plan our meals and I do most of the shopping. If he goes, items will be forgotten. We both work full-time, but he's out of the house for longer as he has a longer commute. This is his excuse. I can count on one hand the amount of times he has picked up the Hoover since we've been living together. He says he will do more on the weekends by way of cooking and washing up, but this means that washing up will be left until he's ready to do it, which results in dishes left in the sink all weekend. Once I asked him to take washing out of the machine, and he just left it on the counter. When we had a dishwasher, he would take out only the items that he wanted to use. I do have high standards generally, but I also feel like I have a right to live in a clean and organized home. Last night, he got home earlier than normal, and I asked him to help me wash up, but he refused. We argued again, and he wants to have a discussion on this tonight to sort things out. Honestly, I'm exhausted, and I don't know what else to say. I feel like there's no point discussing this any further, as we will never agree on this, and I don't want to spend my life feeling resentful and angry over this. Do you think this kind of situation is hopeless, or is there a compromise or solution to this issue? This is the dude. This is who you got. If you don't want this kind of lifestyle, then you need to leave him alone and find a man who's got a more equitable mindset. It feels like if I live in this house, then I need to pitch in and do my fair share of keeping it up to, keeping it tidy. It should not fall on one person like this. So this is what you got. I mean, this is the story. You've been trying, bumping your head, talking to him, just going over round, and you see nothing's changed. You expect him to change and be a different kind of man. He's not going to do it. So the decision is yours. Either you accept that this is what's happening and you're going to be like this, being his slave, his housemaid and stuff for the rest of your life, that you stay with him, or you're going to deuce out and tell him, well, you like to live like Pigpen, and so you just do that. And I'm going to move out and I'm going to go somewhere else. And then we're going to break up, because one thing I don't want to be is with a man like you who thinks he's going to burden me with responsibility while he just chills and doesn't do what he's supposed to do. You think this is a game, but it's making me hate you. It's making me just wish you would just dry up and blow away. It makes me just rude the day that I ever laid eyes on you. You lazy fucking bum. That's what you're going to end up saying to him. And then you're going to blow up at him. So before you get there, just leave him alone. He's extremely selfish and he's lazy. He's just that kind of dude, just want the woman to do everything. No. The only thing that he could do is if you're going to hire somebody to come in and do the laundry and to clean the kitchen and do the deep cleaning and stuff like that, and he pays for it since you don't want to do nothing, that's a workable compromise. If you would be okay with that. Question number 17. This is a female, but I would just be done with you because these guys, it's his personality. I just wouldn't be able to work. I just know. Okay, she's female, 42 to 49 from Trowbridge in the UK. Summary of issue. I'm seeking the opinions of other women on my brother's behavior. I saw my brother, he's 40 yesterday. He works part-time and his partner is the main breadwinner. She's a couple of years older than him, works full-time, and out of her wages pays for everything, all the bills. My brother contributes a measly £150 a month. They have 2 children together. Oh, is that right? Lately, the cost of living has dramatically increased. She is worried about their bills and is seeking a second job. My brother, on the other hand, berates her for her spending and has a huge amount of savings. He gave me a breakdown of her income and outgoings and said, in his opinion, she isn't managing the money well enough. I think that she hasn't got enough money coming in and she's doing extremely well. I really think my brother should contribute a lot more to the household finances. Should I get involved or do I let them sort it out? I have a hangnail. I would check with, how much he makes, how much she makes. I would look on, the courts have those child support calculators. And I would enter that information in and for the amount for the 2 kids, and then how much he would have to pay for living on his own and all the stuff. And then I would say, she would get way more money out of you if she kicked you out and just filed for child support. Look how much money you would be giving her every month. It's way more than £150. And let them both see that. And then tell her this is how much he should be giving you minimum. And then he needs to help pay for groceries that he eats. He needs to help pay for the water and the light bills that he runs up. And he needs to help pay for the housing, since these are his kids too. And then so, he needs to be giving up like half his check at least. At least. Probably more like 3/4 of it, since it's 2 kids. Instead of having giant savings and giving her £150 a month like he's 8 years old. That's what I would do. I would fuck my brother over real big time. And I would not give a fuck because you know what I'd be caring about more? Those little kids. Those little kids are going to be on the suffering end of this while your brother's sitting with a fat bank account and taking advantage of this silly woman. But see, if you just sit by and let him, basically condoning him doing that by not speaking up, you can't do that as the auntie. You have to make your brother step up and be the right kind of dad. He needs to be taking care of those kids, and they can't do that with £150 a month with all the other household expenses to keep the household flowing, food in people's stomach, the lights on, the heat on, this kind of stuff. All that stuff costs money, and your brother's not contributing his fair share. So yeah, I would jam him up. I would jam him up. Nope, he's not. He should not stay out of it, beautiful orchid. These are her nieces and her niece and nephew or whatever they are. She said 2 kids, but she didn't spell. Whatever they are, those kids are family to her. It is her brother's responsibility. You know how I am about kids. Now, y'all know how I am about kids. This should be a no-brainer for all of you who know me. If there's anything about children being in a position where they're going to suffer while adults play games, I'm going to always side with the children. Hands fucking down, no question. In this case, it's auntie's responsibility to step up and jam her brother up and get the parents involved if she has to about how he's not taking care of his kids, because he's not with £150 a month. He's not doing that. So everyone in his family needs to shame him, embarrass him, and make him step up to the plate. Even if she doesn't, because she might not understand what's going on and how much more money she could get, I would make sure everybody in my family saw that table and see how much he would be unasking for child support. And still, like I said, have to pay his own rent, his own water bill, his own light bill, buy his own gas for his own car, and all the other expenses that he would be suddenly having to pay, and his own food, and cook and clean for himself too. So he's got it easy where he is, but he needs to unask some money for them damn kids. Them kids is where my focus is. Because this woman's going to be working 2 jobs. Where those kids going to be? With a raggedy daddy who don't want to do nothing for them? That's not the move to make. So hopefully she'll see what she can get when she kicks him out, and then she'll commence to do that and file for child support on his monkey ass. Okay, question number 18. She's 28 to 34, African-American from Memphis. Sorry, issue, it seems like every time I get around my aunt, she is trying to belittle my accomplishments. I have a relative, she's about 72, who constantly compares everyone to her children. To give you some context, her kids are 10 years older than me at 28. This behavior from my aunt started when I was young, like when I was taking the SATs. I remember sharing my score with her, and she immediately started telling me that I need to do better because her children scored higher on their SATs. It was offensive and felt like a personal blow, but I eventually moved on. However, as I grew older, this kind of behavior intensified. Here are a few examples. When I decided to pursue my master's, I mentioned to my grandmother, my aunt interrupted saying, "Oh, my daughter earns more than someone with a master's degree." She kept repeating this as I continued explaining my plans to my grandmother. You never told her to shut up? When in grad school, I had the opportunity to travel with my coworkers as a research assistant. After one trip, I visited my grandmother, and while sharing my experience, I mentioned that our boss took us to eat at the Ritz-Carlton. My aunt responded with, "Oh, that's good. My daughter talked to a man who owned the Ritz-Carlton." It seems my aunt believes I should look up to my cousin because she has interacted with wealthy men in New York. However, that doesn't interest me at all. After getting my master's, I landed a great job with the government, which made me happy. I visited my aunt once to talk to my cousin who was in town, and my aunt started congratulating me after hearing about my new job. She then went on a long rant about how government employees don't make much money and how my earning potential would be limited. I recently got a new job at a different government agency. When I saw my aunt during their visit for the 4th of July, she immediately mentioned that my dad told her about my new job, and she congratulated me. I thanked her, but I didn't elaborate. But when I went to another room with my cousin, sitting on the bed, my aunt came in and started explaining how my job worked as if I didn't already know. She boasted about her 35 years of government service, and when I corrected her about my job's headquarters, she seemed upset. According to her, working for the government only looks prestigious, but the real money is in the private sector. These are just a few examples of the things she has said to me. It seems like every time I see her, she makes such comments. I'm trying to brush them off because honestly, I think her remarks stem from her own insecurities. She's never held a prestigious job and title in her life, and if it weren't for being a military spouse, she wouldn't have had the job that she did. I'm not sure she realizes how tactless she sounds, constantly comparing her grown children to others, but it comes across as classless to me. How do I handle this woman? Why don't you cuss her bitch ass out like I do my aunties? I'm not saying you have to do it, but when they got out of the pocket, I told them about themselves. I don't give a fuck. It's like, I mean, when I was a kid, I had to listen to that bullshit, but I'm grown now. I don't have to listen to you. You talking shit, I'm going to tell you about yourself. And so then it went downhill from there. And they left me alone. They all dead now. But, they left me alone after that. We didn't have no problems with them. I didn't have no more problems out of them. They never called me talking shit, trying to tell me what to do or nothing because I had to, had a little go-in moment. So that's what you need to do with your auntie. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, you got, just because they think you're still a little kid until they became every kind of bitch ass motherfucker I could think of, and then suddenly everybody had the Pikachu face. How can you talk to us like that? Because you get on my goddamn nerves. That's how. It's like, I didn't ask you your opinion. When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. And right now, nobody asks you shit, so you need to just shut up and stay in your lane. Stay over there in auntie zone because you don't know shit. You ain't about shit. You ain't done shit. You nothing compared to me. You'll never be like me. Just acknowledge it and just be quiet. Yeah, stuff like that. I said stuff like that to them. It's like, oh my God. So anyway, you have to talk to her like that. So she's talking about, that her kids made more. It's like, why are you always talking about what your kids do? What have you done? Except sit here and run your mouth and try to compare somebody. You haven't done shit. Do you have a master's degree? Did you even go to college? Do you have this? I'm going to just go down the list. What was your SAT scores? So you talk about everybody else. What did you get? What do you have? What are you about? What accomplishments have you made? Did you ever go to the Ritz-Carlton? Did you ever travel into another country? What have you done, bitch, except sit up here and complain and try to compare somebody else and make yourself feel better about your nothing ass? because you ain't done shit and you ain't about shit. And luckily your kids are, but you ain't. And yet you the one that's always trying to run your mouth and make somebody feel bad. Fuck you. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Look, you know, dried up, crunchy 72-year-old bitch, shut up. This ain't done shit and always running your mouth. I'm trying to talk about somebody. Can you even spell Ritz-Carlton? You know, stuff like, I don't know. I think people should just shut up sometimes. Just learn to shut up, shut your mouth. Just sit down, be quiet, don't say nothing. So that's how, I mean, I know me. I might have let her get away with the first one, the SAT one, because you were still in high school, right? So you were still young. When I was in high school, I used to listen to my aunties too, because I was too scared not to, because I know my mother would have beat my ass. And my daddy would have come and got him some too, because, you know, you're being disrespectful. But once I got older, especially after I had my daughter, it was over. Because now everything that you are as wife, mother, you know, worker, I mean, every qualification that they had to talk to me, was those things now. You see what I mean? Because they would lord that over your head. Well, you know, I had kids, you ain't got none. You know what I mean? So all the things that they used to use as reason why I need to listen to them, I had those qualifications myself, plus college degrees, plus travel all over the place, plus, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff that they never did. So when they got started, I just read them. And so it just was like, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. But they left me the fuck alone. That's all I wanted. Question number 19. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Mesa, Arizona. Summary of issue. I have an insecure boyfriend and his lack of confidence is causing a lot of issues. Oh my God, how can you stand it? We're both 26 years old. My boyfriend had balding/thinning hair. After a transplant and being on medication for a few years now, he has a full head of hair. However, he still believes he looks like he's balding. It's still a huge insecurity for him, to the point of it being body dysmorphia almost, OCD levels of checking his hair in the mirror, taking selfies. Oh my God. And he stopped working because he feels too self-conscious about people making jokes about his appearance. He's completely lost himself to this obsession over his appearance. He is incredibly anxious, depressed, and even suicidal over this. Okay, your boyfriend is crazy. Like, he can't just be bald. I've tried to encourage him to get mental health support, but he refuses, saying that he will get better on his own. Occasionally he'll have a big breakdown and say that he needs help from a counselor, but as yet, he's not gone. I've been supporting him through this as the best I can for the last 3 years, but I'm starting to feel like I can't do this anymore. I love him so much, but when he's not fussing over his hair, he's a great partner, and our long-term life goals and values align perfectly. But his refusal to take ownership of his own mental health struggles is putting a huge load on me. I become more of a therapist to him rather than a girlfriend, and honestly, I'm losing attraction to him because of this. At this point, I don't know what to do. I want to believe that he'll get counseling and start the journey to heal himself and gain confidence, but everything that's happened up to this point does not indicate that will ever happen. I don't want to stay with him because of a what if. Is there a way to get through this and stay together? No, not if he refuses to get help. You're just going to be, see, this is why I don't do craze. I don't do craze. I don't do craze. I don't do men who are depressed. I don't do men who have any kind of addictions, like, you know, addictions, dependencies, none of that. You popping some kind of pill to keep your equilibrium mentally and emotionally. I can't be with you. You got problems. You can flash on people and stuff more than I do. We can't, two of us in one relationship. That's dangerous. Okay. That could be like cataclysmic. So we're not going to do that either. So, you know, when dudes come and they like not wrapped too tight, they got some off balance stuff, this kind of stuff like this going on. Oh man, we would have lasted about 2 hours. As soon as he started with that, you know, oh, my hair is this and that and that's and that. And I said, look, your hair is normal. What's wrong with you? And he told me all that. I would have deuced out. So you better than me. Now, you say occasionally has a big breakdown, and you've been dealing with this for 3 years. What's wrong with you? You're not even getting paid. And ain't no dick in this world that good that you would want to go through all of this just to get it. You tripping. I strongly suggest that you sit down with Home Skillet and you say, look here, either you get your ass in therapy next week or we're through here. Because one thing I'm not going to do is use up my youth and beauty on you acting stupid about hair that you already have. And you sit up there and can't work and can't do nothing productive like a grown man because you're worrying about your hair is stupid. And I'm just done. I'm disgusted with you. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm leaving. Your only chance that we might even talk again is if you get yourself in some therapy, and I want to see receipts. Yeah, staying together to me would not be an option because he's not trying to make himself better. He's just dumping on you, and you just sitting there taking it. Yeah, they drain. I mean, I don't even like it when dude. Okay, so they come. When I was dude, we went out about twice. Okay, so he was working, and then he was having some problems with the white people on his job. Now, that's something I used to deal with all the time. I just body slam them and sue them, and so I'm trying to tell him how to set them up so he can get his money, right? So he's like, oh, this a brother too. He's like, oh, I don't really want to do that, this and that, blah blah blah. And so I'm like, okay, so let me get this right. So you think that I'm going to be on the phone with you and go out with you, and I'm going to hear this stuff that they're doing to you over and over and over, and you just think I'm just going to listen to it and I'm going to be okay with you, accepting this kind of stuff and not taking any action? Is that what you think is going to happen here? He's like, well, I just need somebody to listen to. I said, no, you don't. You need somebody who's stupid. That ain't me. Because all them bitches that you talking about and all the stuff that they doing and talking to you and stuff, they would have got to do that shit exactly one time. And the next thing I would have filed a lawsuit on them. Anybody who loves going to lose their job and stuff, it's not going to be me. It's going to be you, because I'm going to body slam you with a racial discrimination and harassment suit. That's what we're going to do. I can't tell you how many of those cases I won. And these are firms in San Francisco, and a couple of them are law firms. We're advising clients on how to not be racist and to treat their staff fairly, and they're doing it right in the law firm. Down I go to DFEH and file my claim and get my attorney, get that right to sue letter, get my attorney, and get my money. I cannot tell you how many times I had to do that. But one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to take no shit from white people. You're not going to talk to me crazy. You're not going to treat me crazy. And you could, but you're going to pay me for it. It's not going to be where I just take it and go home. You're going to write me a check and it's going to be thousands, like 30, 50, 80. It's not going to be no little bit of money. For every time that you do something like that, it's going to cost you $5,000. So you do that. He didn't want to do anything, though. He didn't want to take any action. He just thought he was going to bend my ear with that shit. I dumped his ass so fast. I don't like it when people don't take action. So you have to think about it if you want to be, in this position emotionally where you're going to be dumped on and stressed out about his problem. That's not your husband. It's not your fiance. It's not your baby daddy. There's no reason for you to continue a relationship with this man. It's like you got to think about, what are you getting out of this? How's he benefiting your life? And the answer is you can't think about anything. You watch my video, What's in It for Me? It's WIIFM. Is the acronym, What's in it for me? And you can't think of nothing. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, Mo, I just don't be playing with them folks. And then when you get you get the right to sue letter, then they start spilling the tea and telling you how many other people have a right to sue letter from the past. And you find out that this particular company, firm, whatever, has a history of doing this kind of shit. But nobody tells you that before you accept their offer. I should have known, though, because it started when I first got there. They offered me, promised me one thing in salary. And then when I got there, then I was going to start, then they said, well, it's going to be this amount. I said, no, it's not. It's going to be what you put in this letter right here. Like I had made them put it in writing. I guess they forgot that part. And so they were like, oh. And they looked sad. But that was the beginning of it. I should have known then. I mean, the me that I am now would have known what that meant. But this was a long time ago and I was young and stupid. And I didn't read the signs. I just thought it was, like a mistake or something. I don't know what I thought, but I didn't take it to be like they some gangster tricksters. And this is just the beginning of the bullshit that you're going to have to deal with these people. Whew, okay. Oh, wait, did I skip something? Hold on a second. I might have put this page over here. There was some letter at the bottom. Hold on, I done got myself mixed up. Okay, yeah, I did. I put one page down too fast. Okay, question number 20. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Plymouth in the UK. Summary of issue. How do I deal with a male friend who is codependent? Why would you do that? My guy best friend of 3 years is so difficult to deal with. He has a severe form of social anxiety that makes him very sensitive to criticism. I think he might be in the autism spectrum. No, he's a narcissist. But he's also a very talkative person. When we go out, he keeps talking and talking. And whenever I start talking, he interrupts me. He also doesn't reply to any comment I say when he's telling a story. It's like he doesn't even hear me. He likes texting a lot, and he sends daily paragraphs of small stuff like a song he likes or a movie he watched. I thought it was adorable at first, but it became exhausting. Like it's so hard to read and reply enthusiastically to daily articles about things you don't care about. He even told me once that he thinks of my chat as his diary. Another thing is he's very sensitive. Like if I go for a few days without texting him, he gets sad and spams my chat. And whenever I text again, he acts all upset and waits for me to say sorry and baby him. Also, he gets offended very easily. Like one time I woke up because he was calling and I saw that he had called literally 60 times. It made me panic because I thought someone died or something. But when I picked up, he said he was bored. Oh, wow. On campus and wanted to talk. I said, you called me 60 times. I thought something had happened. My reply made him get flustered and he kept saying, sorry, sorry. Then he hung up and refused to answer my calls until an hour later or so. The point is he is super sensitive. So how do I mention the stuff he does that upset me in a nice way that doesn't make him get sad or offended? Who gives a fuck if he gets sad or offended? Why are you worried about that? Where he's making you sad and feel offended every time he texts you wall of text and doesn't have a conversation with you. Right? It's like he's having a conversation by himself and you just an unwilling victim. Okay, let's go through this. He's a talker, he keeps talking. And when he interrupts me, he also doesn't reply to any comment. Okay, so he interrupts. When he interrupts, you're supposed to say, stop interrupting me. Okay, a conversation is two people, not just you droning on and fucking on. Okay, that's one thing you did not say. Then when he doesn't reply to any comment that you make, it's like, did you hear what I just said? You didn't answer. You need to answer me. Okay, you have to put demands on him. You're not doing that. Okay, then he texts you all this stuff, and it was adorable. I don't know why. That's just ridiculous. And then why don't you just tell him when just stop texting me all this bullshit? Because nobody gives a shit about all of that but you. And you want to have a diary online, they have those kind of sites where you can do that. My daughter used to have one. I can't remember the name of it right now. But you have an online diary. That's what you need to do. And you can just talk and type just till your fingers fall off and stay off my phone. Then he's sensitive. Okay, so you go out a few days without texting him and he gets sad and spams your chat. You're supposed to do a highlight and delete everything. And then he's going to like, oh, you didn't respond. I said, no, I deleted all that shit because it was too fucking much. Don't you have something to do that's intelligent and a useful use of your time? I do. And one thing I don't have enough time to do is read your books, these novels that you be texting me. It's boring. You're boring. You need to stop. Okay, is somebody going to call you 60 times? I would block his fucking ass. You wouldn't get to call me, and you're going to be calling him and trying to baby him and saying you sorry and all that shit. Hell would freeze over. He'd still be waiting for me to call and say, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for telling you about yourself. Girl, you just doing too much. So you say that, he refused to answer your calls. You shouldn't have been calling him anyway. He already called you 60 times over some bullshit. Let it go. Okay, don't call him anymore. Let him rest and reflect on himself instead of you feeding into his stupidity by giving him more attention. He's super sensitive. You know what people who are super sensitive and say, I'm sensitive and this and that? What it really is, they want to trounce all over your feelings and have you cater to them while they don't have to give you anything back. That's what that means. So when somebody tells me, well, I'm sensitive, you know what I do? Hurting their sensitivity feelings moves to the top of my agenda. I'm going to hurt your feelings and make you feel sensitive every opportunity I get, every single time. I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and call you and text you and make you feel some kind of way. You know why? Because they need to be have those feelings dulled. To let them understand, you might feel like you're sensitive. Somebody got to cater to your feelings. Nobody gives a fuck about your feelings. Let me show you how much I don't give a fuck about your feelings. And then that's why that moves to the top of my agenda. So until they either get over that or they leave me alone. Either way, it's a win for me. You see where I'm going with this? You're not going to control me by telling me that you're sensitive. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I care about mine. And you trying to make me respond to you in a specific way by telling me you're sensitive That is open season on you. You are like a deer with a target on your forehead. Your antlers are in the bushes, and I'm taking a shot. It's over for you. Don't ever tell a Leo that you're sensitive about anything. Don't do it. It's you're just writing a check with your ass. That's what you're gonna do. That's the worst mistake you could ever make. You tell us something's bothers you and you sensitive about something, boy, oh boy. It's all bad. They're not even together. It's just her male friend. There's nothing to break up. He's a friend of hers. That's what I'm saying. So, she don't even have that kind of relationship with him. She's doing all of this for a friend. Question number 21. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group, Stoke-on-Trent, from the West Midlands in the UK. Summary of issue. I need advice on how to go about my dad dating someone my age. Oh, I'm 24. My dad is 51, and his girlfriend is also 24. Oh, my God. He is still legally married to my stepmom. She's 6 years younger and has a good career, but they are separated. My mom died of cancer when I was still in high school, hence the stepmom. This dad's girlfriend, knows about his marital status and is living with my dad in a condo. She doesn't have a job and has a history of dating older men, most of them foreigners. I am, of course, weirded out, to be honest, repulsed by this. I respect my dad a lot, and I'd always thought of him highly. However, when I asked him why he is dating this girl, he said he prefers younger women and would never date somebody who has a career again. I again asked him what is wrong with a woman who has a job. He's being very hypocritical. He has encouraged me to go to medical school, and I did. But he responded that it creates competition within the relationship. He also stated that this girl is ideal since she also doesn't have a dad. Oh, your daddy's weird. After our conversation, I feel like I don't know him anymore. I asked him to not bring her around me in our house, but he still did it once. The girl stayed behind my dad while he was trying to force me to greet her. I just hid in my room until they left. Childish, I know. It caught me off guard and I just shut down. So you living with the stepmom and he brought this girl to the house? Is that what you're telling me? Also, he said that he would never allow me to date somebody close to his age as I am, quote, different compared to his girlfriend. I honestly don't know how to view my dad anymore. How do I act when he brings her to our house again? I don't have anything to say to her, but I don't want to shut down like how I did first time. Why not? What's wrong with shutting down? What's wrong? But on the other hand, if you don't want to shut down, then you sit down and cross your legs and say, "Your dad, tell that girl, my dad is fucking you and you're the same age as me." And it gives me the creeps because it makes me think that my dad's fantasizing about fucking me. How would you feel if you was the daughter and you was thinking your dad was trying to fuck you on the sly by substituting another body for yours? I would say some foul, funky shit like that to make my daddy just get a clue. This is some foul shit that you should not be doing, and it's infecting your daughter, and it's making her give you the side eye, like what is really going on here? Because to me, that's where I would go with it. If my dad did something like that, that's exactly where I would go. And I'm gonna just say it because that's what I do. I just say things. Other people be thinking them, but they tend to fly out of my mouth for some reason. I just don't know why that happens. But that's what I would tell him. I would say that right in front of stepmother, and in front of her, and in front of daddy. And he would be like humiliated and say, "It's not like that." Well, then what is it? Why would you pick a girl the exact same age as your daughter if you aren't fantasizing about trying to fuck me instead? Because there's nothing you can tell me that's going to make me think any different. And so with that in mind, don't come here anymore. I live here. I don't want you here, you pervert. I don't want that bitch here. And my stepmother does not want her here either. You might still be her husband, but that bitch don't have shit to do with either of us. And keep that bitch out this house. And bitch, don't you even think about bringing your narrow ass up in here anymore. I'm going to beat your ass. Stuff like that would come out of my mouth. I know me. Yeah. I'd be just convinced to telling everybody about themselves. But that is the main thing I would say to my father if he had the nerve to bring that bitch up in the house again. I don't run scared. Blow his fucking hair back and hers too. She will be so humiliated. She will never want to see you again. And your daddy won't know what to do. He'll probably spin in circles and go out the door and just leave you alone too. But that's what you want, right? So that's a win. I'm just trying to say that's something wrong with that man. Let's move on. Question number 22. This is a female. I know those of you who have never heard the show before are saying, what kind of crazy, what is this? Where did I stumble into? We just made 30,000 subscribers, so finally doing something right, right? Something going on here, right? Although I think it should have been that a long time ago, but that's just me. Question number 22. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Toledo, Ohio. Summary of issue. How do I get over my ex-boyfriend telling me I'm, quote, middle of the pack, end quote, and he's been with girls who look a lot better than me? Oh, I'm glad to hear he's your ex-boyfriend. Good job. So that means you're telling us a reflecting story of what had happened to you. My ex made a lot of bad remarks about my appearance. He nitpicked my clothing, complimented other women, and never complimented me. When I finally realized what was going on, at first I didn't feel like he was legitimately being awful, end quote. I started questioning him, and he wanted to tell me that I'm middle of the pack. He's been with girls more attractive than me and went on to tell me how and why tall, thin, blonde, Viking type girls. He is my ex now, but this has left a lasting damage on me, and I feel ugly. Even sitting in my car alone, I want to hide my face from people possibly looking at me. Oh, girl. I don't want to go in stores. Every time a man looks at me, my thought process is about how unattractive I must appear there, or that I'm so regular that no one would even want to look at me. I can't get over it. Every time I look in the mirror, I think about these comments he made about me. I feel like me being less attractive is why he treated me so badly. Another thing, I want to be attractive, like really badly. I want to look like a beautiful girl. I know you aren't supposed to care that much, but damn, I do. I don't know how to get past this. Any suggestions? Yes, stop being stupid. Okay, let's run through this. You are condemning yourself and just fucking yourself all up based on what one little weasel said. Well, all you had to do was when he started talking about these beautiful women and how he's been with, say, like, where's them bitches now though? Obviously, you wasn't the best thing happening for them, and you was middle of the pack for them, and that's why they left your little funny looking ass. Right? That's all you had to do, flip it back on him. You don't take what stupid men say personally. You don't take what they say to heart. You flip the shit back on them and make them feel bad or worse as they try to make you feel. You don't ever let a man get to you like this. You stay out of your feelings and you fire back. Anybody's going to leave with hurt feelings, it's going to be him. I never let men get in my head like that. You have got to get a tougher skin. You do not let men get to you. See, you're letting him win. By him making that one stupid remark, you have condemned your entire existence based on what he said. Like he's the fucking authority and world knowledgeable, somebody out. I can't even think right now. But he's nothing. He's garbage. He's trash. And you like condemning yourself and judging yourself based on what trash said. That makes you stupid. Don't you understand where I'm going with this? You don't never let no man do that kind of stuff to your head like that. Girl, where's your parents? Them tall, thin Viking type girls left his ass. And that's what you should have reminded him. Because they sure ain't here now. Right? And if they were so good looking, or obviously you wasn't good enough for them, that's why they left you. You're supposed to remind him of that and just rub his nose in it. Is he tall and thin and blonde? Probably not. But I'm not liking you absorbing his criticism. Let this kind of stuff roll off your back. If you don't have a tougher skin as you go through life and you let everything the stupid people say to try to bring you down actually bring you down, you will never survive. You cannot be a survivor in this world with this kind of sensitivity to every goddamn thing that some fool says to you. So what they said, so what he thinks it. I doubt that he does, otherwise he wouldn't want to be with you in the first place. But the bottom line is he said that you dumped him, so that's good. You got rid of him. You want to be attractive? Well, how are you dressing? I mean, what you doing? If you sitting in your car feeling ugly, then that means you're not trying to do anything to make yourself feel better, which you need to stop. But the main thing is, if you need some help doing this, because not everybody can do this on themselves, I acknowledge that. Please see a therapist. And they can help you get some tools to boost your self-esteem back up and to deflect this kind of stuff that's going to come from people, whether it comes from men or comes from a job or just random people on the street. People going to always have an opinion, but you know what? You don't give a shit what their opinion is because like an asshole, everybody got one. Is that going to matter to you? No, it shouldn't. The only opinion that really should matter to you is yours. And right now, yours is in the toilet because you basing yours on what this motherfucker said. Girl, do better. Get you a therapist. Okay, get that rolling tomorrow. Make your appointment. They're doing them online these days, so you don't even have to go anywhere. Question number 23. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Lexington, Kentucky. Some issue. I have an issue with my girlfriend wetting the bed when she's drunk. Okay. It's one in every column. Something going on every week. He says it's disgusting. I bet it is. Auntie, every single time my girlfriend goes out, she gets so unbelievably drunk that she wets the bed. She somehow gets wasted. I mean, wasted to the point where she can barely stand after just 2 or 3 drinks. So you can imagine what she's like when under the influence of her friends all night long. That's not normal. Not to mention, she's just a massive dick when she's drunk. I absolutely hate it when she goes out. It's disgusting to have to wake up in a wet, smelly bed. I started making her sleep on the floor when she's at my house, as that seems to be the only fix. I fear that this might tip me over the edge. It really is unattractive and embarrassing when your partner has zero self-control on her drinking to the point that she pees the bed constantly. Just so you know, if she had a genuine issue like a medical problem that meant she couldn't hold it in, it would be different. This is booze-induced and controllable. Any advice? Get rid of her. What in the world? What in the world is you doing? What is you doing? Not what are you doing? What is you doing? What is you doing with a pissy bitch that wants to pee everywhere and get drunk and pee everywhere? You know, and I'm just thinking, okay, what is her house like if she's drinking and peeing in her bed at home? That's just nasty. She needs rubber sheets and she needs to sleep outside, outdoors, in the doghouse. Shit, the dog probably don't want her in there because they don't even pee in their house. They go out, they go out. I don't know what to tell you, my brother, but I'm just gonna say this. This will not be anything that I would want to deal with. I'm not sure what's bothering her. That someone would get that drunk repeatedly. There's something she's trying to escape from. Alcohol, people be trying to resolve their burdens in the bottom of a bottle or, some kind of substance or something. I mean, there's something bothering them that they're trying to not deal with. They just want to just dull their senses. And so there's something bothering. She needs some counseling to get to the root of what it is that she's trying to drown away in a bottle. That's what's really happening. There's some kind of trauma, something that's went on with girlfriend. I don't know. I don't want to make a conjecture, but I just, every person that I've talked to who has, that kind of drink, they get drunk to the point of they want to obliterate something from their conscious mind. That's what they're doing it for, So, yeah. Think about that. Try to see if you can get her something to get herself into some therapy. If not, then it'd be time to deuce out on this shit. Cause I just, your mother gonna come over and spend the night and your girlfriend over there peeing the bed. Can you imagine? Question number 24. This is a female, 22 to 27 age group. She's European from Canada. So issue. I need advice on how to handle the guy I've been dating. Hey there, Deb. I'm just looking for some advice on a guy I've met on the T-swipey thing and have been seeing. I'm 23. He's 28. Since he lives 2 hours away from me in Toronto, we started texting in the beginning of May and we're finally able to meet at the end of May for the first time. Since then, we've seen each other 4 more times and he has really shown me through his actions. Wait, you only saw him 4 times through May. Well, I guess, yeah, okay. May wasn't that long ago. Through his actions, his interest in me. There are so many green flags there. He's not the love bomber type. He doesn't just talk and never deliver. He's always taking me out and paying for the dates and clearly has enough interest to fully rent a car and drive all the way to see me. So that's 2 hours, okay? In terms of defining what we are, I did bring up the fact that I wouldn't be coming 2 hours to Toronto just to F around with someone. If I wanted to do that, I'd stay where I am, and he said a similar thing. That's all we've really spoken about, and even then it's a bit vague. He does talk about the future a lot, though, in terms of his plans and having me in them. What bothers me is then that I know he's still clearly active on the swipey thing since I see new girls he's following on Instagram on a daily basis. I don't know what my place is here since we are still dating and not in a relationship. I just don't know at what point his actions are okay. I don't know if he's actively seeing anyone else or just entertaining himself or what, but it does bother me a lot. I just don't know what I could say because I really don't want to come off as too strong or controlling or even creepy that I noticed that on Instagram. I'm just the kind of person to focus on one person at a time, in part because it's too overwhelming to do otherwise, and in part out of respect for the other person. What respect when that's not your man? What are you talking about? You're creating an attachment and a level of respect for someone who you don't even know, ain't in a relationship with, and who lives 2 hours away and is on the dating site. Do you know how stupid you sound right now? Let me finish. What else this nonsense you wrote? Isn't even my place to say anything? No, it's not. And if it is, how it's not in your place, so you're not gonna say shit. I have no idea what I could say. Nothing. It also doesn't help that he's on vacation now for 10 days, so I won't be seeing him for a while. And I really don't want to be a Debbie Downer on his vacay either, using my name. Also, in terms of our communication, it's either in person or over text. We text regularly a few times a day. It's not like constant updates on what we're doing or anything, but it's also frustrating that he's been texting me just once a day, if that, since he's been on vacation. I don't expect constant and consistent text, but maybe just a few updates would be nice, since he clearly has the time to follow new girls on Instagram. I'm looking for your and the other ladies' input. Is me being bothered by this warranted? No. Should I say something? No. Should I wait until he gets back? I just don't know what to do anymore. First of all, let's get this clear right here, because you're going left. You're going left. You met a chump online, okay? You know he's still on the site, and he's still liking girls on Instagram and still dealing with people on the site, right? So what does that mean? That means he's not settling for you. He hasn't asked you to be in a commitment with him. He ain't tried to do nothing with you. It's not serious. You're not in a couple. You're not in a relationship. He owes you no commitment, no loyalty, no conversation, and no explanations. That's what this means. So all of these things that you're putting here, you're confusing boyfriend and dating with some motherfucker that you just barely met and just don't even really know. That's what's going on here. You're trying to have expectations of a man that you barely know and you're not in any sort of relationship with at all. What are you doing? This whole letter reeks of somebody who needs to date 5 people at the same time, so you can see that it's not no big deal, and that, men going out with different guys can be fun and entertaining. They all have different personalities. Some of them are going to be real stupid. You're going to be like rolling your eyes and wonder what in the world you wasted your outfit for. Others will be such a good time, you might want to go out with them again. Not to say it's going to be a love match, but you enjoyed the time with them that you spent. Those are the kind of dates I like, and then I like to talk to because they're funny. They're funny. They're entertaining. They have witty stories to share. They got, stuff going on in their lives. It's interesting to be around them. They're high energy men. But just to be in a situation where you just want to put a claim on about somebody because you only like to do one guy at a time, and that's the reason why you want to go into a relationship with him, just because you want to do one. He's not interested in you like that. Okay? Just stop it. His conversation about, future and stuff like that, okay, that's nice. But has he made any moves in that direction? No, it's just words. So you don't put any stock in what men say that you meet on the swipey things. They're looking for some ass. Okay? That's it. That's all. Nothing more. And you up there looking for a real relationship. You need to stop. Not 90% of the people who write this show need some therapy. They need some therapy. They need some help. I can't give it to them. That's not my role here. I just don't understand what's happening. Okay, let's move on to I think this is the last one of today. Oh, thank you, Jesus. This is a young man in the 20 to 34 age group from St. Petersburg, Florida. Summary of issue. I recently was blindsided and completely surprised when my now ex-girlfriend broke up with me. What advice would you give to help me accept this and move on? Okay, I'm going to just interject this here. Just interject. 99% of the time, men say, oh my God, it just came out of nowhere. When women have been trying to get you to understand that something ain't right in the relationship for the longest, y'all don't listen. That's what it is. Y'all don't listen. And then you think because you're happy that everybody's happy, because your needs are getting met that everyone is satisfied. And the woman's constantly telling you by her body language and her distance from you and her lack of conversation and reduced interaction with you that she's not happy with something that you did, and she's growing resentful. Usually you guys was fighting about something, or she kept asking for time or whatever, and you didn't listen. So then she starts getting angrier and angrier, and every time she gets angry, she gets more and more emotionally distant until the day comes where she can't stand your ass no more, and she leaves. And then you all want to act like it's just like a shock and a surprise. It never fails that that's how men do it. But let's see what happened here. So I turned to the side. My ex-girlfriend and I were relatively long distance. She's 34, I'm 32 for background. There's about a 3-hour drive between us. We were able to see each other maybe 1 to 2 weeks a month. We're also in the beginning of planning a trip where we would get engaged. Huh. How long was you dating? I don't see that part here. On her most recent trip to visit me, she sat me down and said she needed to talk about something. She said she felt a disconnection between us for a while. I said I noticed it too, but for me, it was mostly stems from me going through a depressive time in the last 9 months. At first, it felt like she was just communicating her feelings. We talked for a while about how we can try to amend this and get back to how we used to be. After a while, I noticed she didn't respond well to any of my suggestions. Also, I realized she didn't bring as much luggage. I jokingly said, "Did you come here to break up with me?" That's when the sentiment changed completely. Oh. She couldn't physically say she wanted to break up, but she didn't deny it. I'd ask, "Are you breaking up with me? Is this a breakup?" And she'd answer with something like, "I'm not happy with how this relationship is." I'm still unsure if she was breaking up. I was very much in denial and needed a direct answer. But I got my answer when she said she couldn't see herself marrying me and that her feelings for me have changed. There you go. At first, it felt like we weren't talking about our feelings, but before long, it turned into a breakup. However, I can't get over how hesitant and reluctant she seemed to be about the breakup. After talking for a while, we were both too emotionally exhausted and she left. Also, she had already arranged plans to stay with a friend who lives near me. Can this relationship be salvaged? How can I move on with no closure, no warning, and no idea what I did wrong? Why do you assume that the only time a relationship can end is if you do something wrong? Sometimes it just runs its course. Just like you eat a 9-course meal, well, there's an appetizer and then there's dessert. And everything in between is the good part. And then when the dessert is served, you know that it's coming to an end. She served you dessert when she came to you. This it is over. Now, as far as closure, I have a video on this channel about closure. But let me sum it up for you right quick. Closure is something you give yourself. You can't ask the person who dumped you to come back and give you closure or anything else. That's not her job. If it's the other way around, it's not his job. Your role is to give yourself closure, and you will have it the second that you say, "Well, that's a wrap. That bullshit's over." Okay, look, closure. I just gave it to you. That's all you have to say. It's just that simple, and there's closure, which I still don't understand why people want to be all romantic about it. It's not that big of a deal. The fact that you knew that the relationship was distant for 9 months, and then yet you want to turn around and say no warning, that you had 9 months of warning. Don't you understand? That distance that you felt and that she felt too, that was your warning shot. If you know that you're feeling distant, see, you chalked it up to something about yourself. You didn't think about, well, if she's feeling distant I'm feeling distant from her, that means she's feeling distant from me. What can I do to bring us back closer? That never crossed your mind. You just stayed in your depression thing and think she's going to stay with you for a year, feeling separated from her man like that. They don't work like that for women. We get into relationships for the emotional benefits that it brings us. The joy, the happy, the love. If you're not giving her that, she has no reason to stay in a relationship with you, whether you're single or married. Okay? You making your life is miserable and stuff, and you want her to be miserable too? She's going to leave your ass, and that's what she's supposed to do. Because you got a depressive situation. Was you getting any help for it? Were you doing anything about it to take action and turn things around? You just want to sit there and you think she goes to sit there and be happy with that shit? She deuced out on your ass, and that's what happened. And you did that to yourself by not paying attention to your woman and your relationship, and instead just focusing on yourself. So I'm not really sure what it is you thought you was going to get from me and why you think that I would feel sorry for you and give you ideas about how to get closure and all this kind of stuff. Shit, you a grown-ass man. Suck it up. Suck it up, chump. You want to be depressed and stuff. Now you got something to be depressed about. And you can do that by yourself. But in the future, if you're in a relationship and you feel something is going awry with your relationship, pull up the brakes and roll up your sleeves and do something about it that day. You don't wait 9 months and leave your woman just hanging out in the wind, thinking she's going to be happy and stay with you for 9 months or even longer while you diddle daddle around and stay in your feelings all by yourself. It doesn't work like that. Especially you just dating. She's not tied to you. She ain't no kids with you. She ain't married to you. She took no vows. She was good to stay 9 months. I would have deuced out after 1 or 2. But I'm just the asshole like that. Yeah, he should get some therapy. He got depressed for almost a damn year and thinks that she's supposed to stay with him. He's delusional. Well, he knows now. He understands what time it is. Anyway, that's it for this crazy show. Shay has been putting instructions. You can see them right there in the chat if you're on YouTube, for how to submit a question for a future What the Fuck Wednesday show. You go to Debsterism.com, as you see at the bottom of the screen here. You click the tab that says Get Advice and fill out the form, press send. It's not to say that your letter will get, we don't guarantee that your letter is chosen, but we do, 25 letters a week do get picked. So the odds are pretty good that, if your letter is sensible, that it will make it into the column at some point. But it may not be that week. It may be the week later or 2 or even 3. And one time we found letters that had been in there sitting up there for like over a year, which we lost track of. So we did answer them, but it was really way after the fact, unfortunately. So I hope to see you guys on Friday. I'm telling you, it's just been really hard for me to get through the DNN slides. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just haven't been able to do it. I've just been working like a slave and haven't been able to do anything except work and try to get this man site. I missed the July 1st deadline in case you didn't figure that part out. That didn't happen. So I'm trying to get it done within the next 2 weeks. Poor guy. So anyway, that's what's going on. I will see y'all real soon. Thanks, Shay. Thanks, everybody who's a loyal supporter. Thank everybody who helped the channel get to 30,000 subscribers by sharing links. And we'd appreciate your support to continue to do that. Anything on here that you really liked, a video that really resonated with you, there's more than 1,500 of them at this point. So there's something for everybody. Just share the link on your social media or amongst your friends and family, and we would appreciate that. So I'll see you guys real soon. I'm not promising Friday, but I'm going to shoot for it anyway. Bye.